Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Marketing Series. Today, Tony and I will talk about ways to integrate AI into your small business. Some people may already know because AI is very popular now, but what is AI?
The definition of AI is, and I'll read it right off the dictionary, okay, is artificial intelligence, right, is the ability of a computer or robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence. This is not reading well, but
No, it's not.
right? And although there are no AIs that can perform the wide variety of tasks that ordinary humans can do, some AIs can actually match humans in specific tasks.
It does not do a good job of convincing me to use it.
No, that's from the Encyclopedia Britannica.
We didn't come up with it.
in more of the what AI is in business, that's a different story, right? So, in business, what AI is, it's a lot of it just kind of helps the capabilities of the human mind, because what it does is it allows you to do research much faster, right? And it also allows you to kind of expand your knowledge base for you to be able to do a job better, or maybe write content better and things like that. It also has been a big driver of things like the self-driving car, right? And where a lot of things are kind of going in the future. But honestly, more and more, it's becoming a big part of just life in general, and especially in the marketing world. Okay, it's there and it's being used to kind of help that.
Tony and I came up with a list of questions that you can ask yourself if you're wondering if you should start using AI for your business. So here we go. Are there any repetitive tasks that you have that you can automate?
The way you have to look at it is, if it saves you time doing the mundane things, right, then it gives like us the ability to spend more time on the things that are more important that no computer can do.
Do you have areas of your customer service that you can improve the customer experience? Can I use extra help, but maybe I don't have the funds right now to hire someone?
A lot of times, especially for small business owners, we can't afford to go hire somebody, right? So this is definitely like a short-term solution, right? Or even a long-term solution, right?
And the last question is, are there any areas that you want to save time or improve upon, or maybe start to implement because you haven't started?
If you answer any one of those questions, yeah, let's have some fun and go for it. I always say, like, use technology as an ally, as a friend, or like an added tool, right? But we shouldn't be afraid of it. Especially, the world things are moving so fast. We also don't want to fall behind the curve, right? Either. You don't want to wake up from 10 years from now and find out that you should have started using something, and now your competitors are so far ahead of you that you can't catch up.
And if you're using AI, we'd love for you to drop a comment below and ways that you're using it for your business to help grow and scale, or any marketing tasks. Let's get into ways that we can use AI specifically for marketing, because that's what we do.
Can you use AI for email marketing?
Absolutely.
Can you use AI for developing websites?
Yes.
SEO, right?
Yep.
Social media, blogging, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what do you think about maybe a virtual booking assistant?
Some chatbots.
Right. The biggest struggle is, again, we're talking about from a small business owner side of things, right? We don't have time. Using these tools are going to, save you a lot of time.
Tell me a little bit more about AI used for websites.
You can actually tell the AI that here is the website that I want to build. Give it specifics. I am this. I want it to be like that. And it will build you. Give me 5 pages, and voila, it will build your website with all the code and everything else. You don't want to go to that extreme. It's just something generated and wants to say that, Nicole, you do the same thing, and our websites are exactly the same. Okay. So how you can use it is that, let's just say that you're doing some keyword research. If you tell it, hey, give me the top 10 keywords, it will actually tell you what those are in the order of importance. And if you follow it up and say, hey, give me some content around this keyword that I can use on my website for SEO, it will give you that content. It will even go as far as, let's just say I'm generally a funny person, as an example, and you want it to be a little bit humorous. It will actually write it in a humorous manner or a serious manner, right? If you're a doctor, you don't want to be funny, you want to be serious. So it will actually write it in the tonality that you tell it. Someone wants me to build a 5-page site. It might take us, Nicole, right? And you do this, right? What? 20, 30, maybe sometimes 40 hours.
Yeah.
When people say, wow, that's really expensive to build a site, they don't realize it's just not putting the site together in structure, right? It's obviously all the research and the images and all the content that has to be written.
Mhm.
So when you're doing that from scratch, it takes a lot of time. You're a do-it-yourselfer. Guess what? You don't have to do all this research and all this knowledge because it's going to help you build a lot of stuff out.
That's a really good example because websites and SEO are so important. One, to have your foundation website set up, but the SEO so that you can rank organically and show up so that people can find you. So the fact that AI can help improve that, can get that going. If it's something that you don't have, it helps you be efficient, but it also helps you save some money there.
So one of the next common things, you guys have like a web chat or something on your site. Okay. So as an example, you can use these chat bots to answer questions because it does FAQs and things like that. It can learn from it. The next thing, and the next thing it can do is actually book an appointment based on your calendar, where you might sit there and say, hey, I'd love to speak to the gym owner. It might ask a series of questions like, hey, what is your goal? What is your physical condition now? Right. You could tell it a series of questions. Awesome. Thank you for your information. What's the best time to call you? The person says Wednesday. Awesome. What time? 10 o'clock in the morning, right? Because it knows your schedule based on the calendar that you put in, right? And voila, you wake up in the morning and then you have an appointment on Wednesday at the time that the person kind of specified out. Right. So what they always say is speed to lead, meaning, right, the fact that you're giving them the information like right away, it kind of will almost like put someone at ease not to look elsewhere. So if I'm searching, I land on your site, I get that instant response. I have an appointment tomorrow. Guess what? Stop doing. I can go to bed now because I already kind of communicated with someone.
You got the answer. Yeah.
Right. From a chat standpoint, it's like it's amazing.
I know there's like concern with chatbots and how much information it has. Now, when you're setting that up for your business, you're telling it your hours, you're giving it the information, the FAQs, the common questions, so that when someone asks, it's answering in your brand voice, but also in your business with your business details, right?
Listen, just like with anything else, it's not perfect. One of the things that we talk about is like kind of like training your bot. Okay. The first thing you kind of do, again, not to get technical, is you kind of tell your bot like who you are, right? As far as like you give your bot a name, you can give your bot and tell your bot that you're always going to respond in this manner. You're always going to address the person by their first name, right? You can do a whole series of prompting to get your bot to kind of, you are a dental hygienist, right? You have experience for over 30 years, right? So, and based on that, the bot is really smart. And then what you do is you kind of add your FAQs into that, because what it will do is actually will pull from FAQs. And as you're training, what happens is if someone asks a question that the bot really doesn't respond in the manner that you want it to, you can put the FAQ that kind of support that. Over time, you kind of know what people are asking, by the way, right? It's usually the same 10 or 15 questions, so you kind of covered. But if it's an oddball question, you can always correct, or like I said, teach the bot how to answer. And it's coming up with some really cool answers. Like, wow, I could not have said that better.
Yeah, I just talked to a photographer who was excited to use our social planner with AI feature because, like she was saying, the hardest part for her is coming up with the content. Like she's got great images, but coming up with the content to go along with that is always difficult. So by prompting AI with a few keywords, a title, a description, and selecting the writing tone, now she's got 3 to 5 different examples that she can now use for her social media planning. So it's a really great tool to streamline and make your business more efficient.
Here's another area that most companies struggle with is blogs, right? So we talk about how the importance of blogs is for SEO, email marketing, that you can kind of keep in touch, right?
Yeah, coming up with like an email.
Yeah, system. Right. So it could take 10 hours, to kind of come up with something, or 10 to 15 hours. So, like, again, using AI to do stuff like that, it's a huge time saver. What we always obviously, encourage, right, is not to copy and paste, right? All it's doing is it's helping you get started, and then it'll give you like an outline of what to do. And then you just gotta, kind of tweak it and, write it in your own language type thing, and personalize it a little bit. And off you go, right? And so here you go, like something that became so difficult that you've been avoiding to do just became like super easy. What are some of the other areas that you've used it as well, Nicole?
I like to use it more for the idea and different ways of thinking outside the box, especially at the end of the day when I'm fried. I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, let me come up with some brainstorming ideas for this topic or this idea. What used to be like 5 hours of social media planning for, some businesses now is turned into 1 hour, 2 hours
Yeah.
max. So using it for things like that is really great.
We're obviously focusing just on the marketing side of things,
Yeah.
right? You go to one AI, right, and it will write the content for you. Okay. You go to the next AI, and what it'll do is it'll take the content, kind of, translate that content into words. It will even actually translate the content to how you speak. Okay. Then what you do is you take like a screenshot like this. You actually create AI that looks just like you. You put the audio in there. Next thing you know, there's AI that looks just like you speaking what you want. So that's kind of where, that's some of the capabilities that AI has. It's creepy. It's like,
Yeah, probably not something that I would personally do.
whether you go dive into it or not is totally up to you, right? It's, again, at the end of the day, it's not required. If you're a great writer, AI will never replace that, by the way. Nothing replaces the connection that you have with people, right? And I don't care what it is. You can write the best email, right? And again, depending on what business, if you can have the best email marketing, thing like that, that's awesome, right? You get them to the door, okay? But if your guy shows up at someone's house and you do a horrible job, it doesn't matter how good your email was. So just to put things in perspective, right? With this stuff,
There's a personal connection that AI can just never replace.
Yeah, it's not. So
People like to buy from people.
Yeah, absolutely, right.
If I'm interested in using AI, where can I start using that?
A lot of tools now are actually incorporating that within their systems, right? So if you're a Canva user, it's already there. Okay. Our tools you can do websites with, you can do your email marketing, your blogs, your social media, right? We have a chat, we have virtual assistants, right, on chat. It's already pre-built. Other people, what they do is they'll go right to Chat GPT as an example, right? There are other websites and things like that that are specific to, like we talked about, the video things that are specific at converting a picture into a 3D image of yourself that does videos. You're gonna see more and more of these things incorporated in the everyday tools that you use, especially from your marketing side of things. Okay, let's talk about costs. Most, I would say, people out there have some kind of plan that either is a monthly based fee and you guys can use it whatever you want, or a per use fee. But it's very inexpensive for the amount of time that it saves. Trust me, you'll make money. You know what I mean? You'll save a ton of money and time on that.
Absolutely. Subscribe to our channel.
If you have any questions or need anything, you can obviously drop a comment below.
And stay in touch.